Revolutionary greetings, comrades. On this day in 1922, the Zimbabwean white population voted in a referendum to decide whether to be part of the South African Union or not. The South African Union was created in 1910. The completion of the colonization of what we call Zimbabwe today was in 1893. Then there was a Ndebele uprising in 1896, and in 1897 the Shona uprising. In 1898 the British Privy Council then resolved or passed a law that that land we call Zimbabwe today was under its authority, under the Queen, were colonized by the British South African Company. But by 1922, whites had to decide, because they were the only ones that were voting, blacks were excluded, to either be part of the South African Union or not. Those in Bulawayo and parts of what we call Matabeleland today voted to be part of the South African Union, and those in Harare voted against, and those in Harare were the majority, and the majority carried the day. But had Zimbabwe as we know it today become part of the South African Union, it means that the families that were divided by Limpopo River will be living in one territory today. That is the Venda people, the Tsonga, and those that trace their roots from KZN and in Mpumalanga, the Ndebele, will be living in one territory in South Africa. And Zimbabwe today, as we know it, will be a province of South Africa. Over the years, we have seen migration. Firstly, during the apartheid regime, when the apartheid state recruited miners or recruited migrant labor to work in the mines, in the farms, mainly in southern Rhodesia. And of course, it went as far as northern Rhodesia and Nyasaland. By 1953, the whites in the three territories established what was called a federation, which brought together southern Rhodesia, northern Rhodesia, and Nyasaland. It lasted for 10 years. After 10 years, it collapsed. Had that also not collapsed, Zambia, as we know it today, Zimbabwe, as we know it today, and Malawi, as we know them today, will be one territory. And there are questions that have been raised today, given the influx of migrants or the whole question of migration, to say, what if we revisit this debate, which was in 1922, leading to a referendum, which of course was rejected. And of course the discussion that was there in 1953. The problem with these debates is that the majority of the black people were excluded from taking part in these discussions. The working class of Zimbabwe are mainly in South Africa. The industrial workers are mainly in South Africa. As well, moving to the festive season, we will see many Zimbabweans queuing at the border post, going back to Zimbabwe for holidays. And the question, therefore, that we ask, as the Comrade Ngabuto Mabena talk show, is what is your view in terms of revisiting this debate? We once recorded a video when I was in Zimbabwe. You remember that video when I was on a hilltop to say, Zimbabwe should become the 10th province of South Africa. And the argument that we're raising is that families are divided by the river. And many people in Zimbabwe work in South Africa. So we want to hear your views. I know that others will post negative things, but it's important that we have this debate. because in the past we're not part of the discussion ourselves. What does it mean for us to dismantle the colonial borders and establish one territory in the SADC region? We had promised you that we're going to discuss the issue of an international language in SADC, Isinguni. We will, in the next few days, indeed have this discussion. But let's hear your views about the need to dismantle these colonial borders and establish one territory under one president, at least at the SADC region, one currency, one flag, one national anthem. Please share your views. As I said, as I conclude that on this day, 1922, there was a referendum which was rejected by whites were in Harare were the majority, and those in Bulawayo had voted to be part of the Union of South Africa. Please circulate this video. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Otherwise, have a great day. Goodbye.